Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, David. I'm joined by Oronde
Was good.
and Matt.
What up?
And today we are back with our Let's Talk NFL series, talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, the team that, who knows, could definitely do a back to back potentially in the NFL. But now let's talk about the Eagles offseason. How do y'all think the Eagles have done this offseason? How do we think, how do we think they've done this offseason when it comes to free agency and retaining their players that they may have, needed to come back?
I think I'd give him an A minus if anything. They've had a lot of departures, but they've filled them up pretty quickly and efficiently, not overpaying anybody, but also not underpaying anybody in terms of market value. They especially made sure that they kept Saquon. They picked up another wide receiver, two tight ends as well. They shored up their O line, which wasn't the worst, but obviously could have had improvements, even though they went and won the Super Bowl with said O line. And their defense got better, which I'm not happy about. Not to
Yeah,
mention their draft picks.
I mean they're just super young. Anyways, I mean their defense is D line especially is just insanely young. So there wasn't like a whole lot they needed to do. And then they lose Darius Slay for example on their defense. They lose Milton Williams was another piece, but they easily have replaced them just through the draft and from last year's draft. I'll say with Cooper DeJean and obviously Jalen Carter who's been phenomenal. Um, there's not a whole lot this team really needs to do. I don't know how much they'll like. I don't know if they'll like be better than they were last year, but I think they'll probably be as good as they were previous year. So,
Also, Matt, to your point, they are the fifth youngest team, tied with
hmm
the Raiders, Jacksonville at 25.8 average
hmm
age.
hmm I
Yeah,
mean,
when I look at the Eagles, I just see a very deep team. Like I just see a team who it's going to be very hard to compete with them again. I mean, and look inside of the division. They have the Cowboys, who we know nothing about the Dallas Cowboys. We know nothing about like what they're going to be about next season. In my opinion, it's one of the hardest team to call. Them and the Bears, I have nothing with those two teams when it comes to predictions. And then when I look at the Giants, they're going to be terrible again this upcoming season. They're not going to be great. And so there you probably have 4 wins right there, at least 3 wins right there, in my opinion. And Commanders definitely they'll split with them because the Commanders I think are a very good team this year. But when you look at the rest of the division, and then we're going to talk about their schedule here in a second. Like there's not much that they have to do to get back to that same level, you know?
right.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one thing though that might be concerning for Philly is their edge rushers are pretty thin.
Yeah,
They got, Brandon Graham retires, Josh Sweat signs with the Cardinals, Bryce Huff just got traded to the Niners. Um, they get is it Aziz? How do you pronounce his name? Aziz Ojulari from the Giants, who was productive. Um,
And they
Still a
take
little,
our second stringer Josh Huge, which
yeah,
when put in right schemes, he is very effective off the edge.
yeah. So
A little annoyed
that
by that, by the way.
that could be a little concerning for Philly. Also, their secondary, obviously, they traded away C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Like I said earlier, Darius Slay. They don't have Isaiah Rodgers. Their whole secondary is completely new.
yeah.
Cooper DeJean's probably the only legitimate corner they have right now, I think. Um, and after that, I mean, I don't really know. And then, yeah, like y'all said, like the O line, um, pretty much the same. They got rid of Mekhi Becton. He went to the Chargers in free agency, which could be a little concerning because he was actually a huge piece when they moved him to guard
Yeah.
during that playoff run. Um, who knows how it'll be? Like I said, I think they'll be better, but I'm actually excited to see their schedule because this is probably going to be the most, I don't know, probably one of the most interesting schedules out of every team, I think. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But yeah, I mean, I look at this team. You got your core on offense: Saquon, um,
AJ
Smith,
Brown, Devontae
AJ
Smith,
Brown. Like you have
Jalen
your
Hurts.
your yeah, Jalen Hurts. You have your core group of people who need to be productive on offense, and if they can be productive on offense, then their defense just needs to make sure they stay off the field. And I think they will. I think their defense, like, I don't think they're going to be like an A plus what they were last year, but I definitely think they'll still be in the B plus range. I think they'll be more like they'll still be a productive defense. But I don't know. I mean, I can sit here right now and say that I don't think the Eagles will be in the Super Bowl again next year. I think, um, we're going to see another team emerge inside the NFC. But regardless if it's that's the Commanders, if that's the Lions, finally, who knows? But yeah, let's talk about their schedule. Let's look at their schedule
They
real quick.
have a fun one coming up this year,
I don't got
especially they're opening 8 into their bye week.
Okay.
Eagles. Let's look at week one. Week
So
one.
I believe it's Dallas Thursday night is the first
What in
game,
the
correct?
heck? Yeah,
Correct.
Thursday night, Dallas. Yeah,
Lowest tickets,
September 4th.
$450.
Wow.
And that's in Philly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're expecting a win there,
Yeah.
just based off how all the momentum coming off the Super Bowl, and
Super
again,
Bowl night.
we don't really know what Dallas is going to be. Jerry Jones, they're just kind of waiting till
He died.
the chair gets kicked, uh, to say it nicely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think they go and
And they're 7-point favorites in that game.
7-point favorites. Okay, fun, fun, fun. Okay, yeah, so I'm taking I'm taking the Eagles on that one.
Yeah, me too.
What about week two?
Week
The
2,
Chiefs.
1.5-point dogs to the Chiefs.
They're underdogs.
Me personally, I'm taking the Eagles.
I think I'm with you, Oronde, because I think Kansas City might have gotten a little worse. I think they got worse than the Eagles did.
I agree.
Bec because obviously, like, you still have Mahomes and Travis. Travis is kind of, you can tell he's probably got a couple more years left in him. Mahomes is still
Yeah.
Mahomes. Um, they are bringing back Rashid Rice from injury. They do have young receivers. I'll give them that. I don't know. I mean,
I
they're
mean,
just getting a lot older
here's what
than Philly
concerns
is.
me though. Like, the Chiefs coming off that embarrassing Super Bowl performance. I think they're gonna want to come out here and show up. Like
Oh yeah,
I
of
think
course.
they're gonna want to show up at home. And I think they do. And so I think I'm gonna take the Chiefs here.
I'm sticking to my Eagles pick.
So
That's
are we
2 on
split
1.
here? Are we split here? Am I the tiebreaker?
Yeah, you're the
Hmm.
tiebreaker.
Give me the Eagles.
That's fine. That
Yeah.
is okay.
Over under is
Um,
45.5 at the moment.
points.
Okay.
Points.
All
All
right,
right.
next game.
Week three, the LA Rams. And here's what's like to me, like this is
Oh,
what's so hard. Like
The
we're
Rams are hard to bet against early on.
well, I'm just thinking about that playoff performance from Saquon against them.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
I
true.
mean, what, 200 plus yards,
In the
three
Yeah.
snow as well.
TDs. Yes, of course, the weather was a factor, but the Rams rushing defense was not good last year.
Yeah,
I
they were.
mean, besides the playoffs, in the regular season last year, Saquon went stupid. I think he had like 200 or 300 yards that game as well. I mean, um, if we're banking on Saquon being as productive as he was that last time, I'm gonna favor the Eagles here again.
The Eagles are 4.5-point favorites.
Okay,
So we're sitting here
so
going
3 straight
into
wins.
week four, 3-0 against the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Rams.
They're gonna be. This is where it can get interesting though, because I think these. I don't know about Dallas, but I think all these games are gonna be close. So there might be like a couple trap games in the middle of the season here where it can get interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm about to tell you what.
yeah, here we go. So what's week four?
Week
Tampa
four,
Bay,
Tampa Bay.
the
Oh,
second closest game so far.
the favorite trap team.
Yeah.
No, not them.
2.5 points.
Really?
Yeah. Tampa Bay is 2.5-point dogs here. A field goal, if you will.
Okay, so Tampa Bay, basically the same roster. They do have, and is it Mbeku? Is that how you say his name?
Abuka.
Mm-hmm.
Ibuka.
Imuka.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Um, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irvin, I think is going to be insane this year, like he was last year. Ugh, that's tough. You know what? I'll take Tampa Bay in the upset. I think that's going to be like one of the trap games. I think. What?
What's up with
I was
that,
already
man?
going to take him, but I'm happy to have Matt on my side for once on
I
these
I
games.
uh, the Bucks can be sneaky good against really really good teams. So like,
So I mean, here's what I'm thinking. Like week five, the Denver Broncos. We all know that I'm really sold on the Broncos right now. I'm taking the Broncos to beat Philly. Simple. That's the one I think they lose personally. I'm very
but
sold on the Broncos. Very sold.
okay. So right now
I'm
we
thinking
have
they're
them
going to
at
win
three and
that
one.
division next year.
We have them at 3-1 going into week 5 against the Broncos.
Yeah.
Do they lose two straight though? God, that's actually really interesting because
Not like it's a huge swing in a pendulum, but the Broncos did pick up J.K. Dobbins today. How kind
I
of
saw.
them.
right,
I mean, the Broncos
but
have had a
eh,
great offseason.
they really have. They've completely changed that defense um entirely. I mean,
That was the
just
issue
free
last season as
agency.
well.
Not even. They still had a really good defense.
Fair. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah,
Very true. Very true. Very
this
I
true.
mean,
despite their
I th
offensive
I
woes.
think it was mainly their run game was pretty shaky.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, Bo Nix was great. Cortland Sutton had a pretty good emergence towards the back half of the year. You know what? I like that upset. I'm going Denver against Philly.
You with me?
I'm with you, Davion. I'm starting to like the Broncos more and more the more I
I'm very
think
high on
about
the
it.
Broncos right now. Very
Well,
high on them.
I have no objections to this. Broncos only 4.5 point underdogs, so it's not like it's completely unreasonable in the eyes of Vegas. I will rock with this. I'll make this a unanimous decision and go Broncos win here.
All right, their next three. Let's jump to the next three. Their next three: the Giants, the Vikings, and the Giants. I think they win
Sweep.
all three going into
Yes.
the
Yep.
bye week.
Sweep.
hmm
You know,
So they're at
coming off the potential back to back losses, they're gonna win three the next three. They're gonna go into a bye week on week 9.
Week. And then after coming
Week,
out of that Monday night football in Green Bay.
my God,
give me Philly. Give me Philly.
Packers have had a good offseason. I would
I'm
take
I
gonna
agree.
rock.
I'll take Philly as well.
I'll be the lone one out here. I go Green Bay.
Wow,
Go Pack
wow.
go.
What is that?
There's something about Jordan Love in prime time where he just throws up like 4 touchdowns and it just resonates with me.
Yeah, but I think defensively, I'm more worried about
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I mean,
the
absolutely.
Packers.
However, I just think it'd be funny.
Fair. Uh,
Detroit,
tired, y'all. Detroit.
back to back
Mm,
primetime games,
mm.
Ooh.
Sunday night football. Jared
I mean,
Goff in
What
primetime,
week
y'all.
are we? Are we in week 7 or 8?
This
11.
is week
What are you
11.
talking about?
What am I saying? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we skimmed through the New York, Minnesota, New York trips into their bye
Okay.
week, which was week 9,
So
and then coming out
so
is Green Bay and then Detroit back to back
so we're
prime
saying
times.
they have 6 wins, or
Yeah,
sorry,
there's
7.
going into week 11? I think 7. Fair.
So
yeah
they have 2 losses. Okay.
7-2 going into week 11.
That's bad math, buddy. Is it?
Oops.
No, we're good. Yeah, actually, no, we're good. There's a bye week. Sorry.
Okay. So then they would play. No, give me Philly. Oh, against Detroit.
I don't
That's what
know.
I'm saying.
God.
And it's in again, it's another primetime game.
Is it in Philly?
No. No, it's yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, but hold on.
Philly.
Let's look at it. Let's blow this up a little bit. Coming off the bye week in week 9, that week 10, 11, 12 are the Packers prime time, Lions prime time, and then Dallas week 12. I don't think they get out of that 3 game gap without a loss. So the question is, do they sweep Dallas? I mean,
I
do
think they
they?
can sweep. I think they can sweep Dallas. I think Detroit and Green Bay are going to give them some trouble though.
Yeah,
Based on the only reason I give Detroit the edge over like Green Bay is just because experience. Obviously, the rosters I don't know. Philly's just a better team, but Detroit has a whole new coordinator group.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to be going on there. Um,
Jared Goff has a pretty good primetime record.
Let's be okay. Here's okay. Let's do this. I think week 11, I'm gonna give to the Lions. Week 10, I'm gonna give to the Eagles. Week 12, I'm gonna give to the Eagles.
okay. So they have three losses so far.
Week 13, they play the Bears.
They're going to
The
win that.
the who knows what's gonna be with these Bears.
I think Philly will still win that because the Bears, unless the Bears just come out swinging and have like a monster
Year,
improvement,
yeah,
Ben Johnson just becomes
Coach of
an
the Year.
insanely great coach year one. But no, I'm still giving it to Philly.
Yeah, okay. If I look at it, all right, I'm gonna take the Eagles as well on week 13. Week 14, the
Chargers,
Chargers.
NLA,
Ooh,
Hmm.
Monday Night Football,
Ooh.
we've
Mr.
seen
What If
some.
Man versus the Hurts.
We've
Give
seen
me
some
Mr. What
some.
If Man.
We've seen some really good games from prime time when it comes to the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers. I think it'd be funny.
Um,
This one's off pure vibes. I'm not even looking at the record or anything. Just give me pure vibes. Give me the Chargers on Monday Night Football late in the season.
Last time I saw the Chargers on Monday Night Football, it was an L attached to it. Give me the Chargers.
Um,
Matt, will this be a
I'm just
unanimous?
I'm gonna go Philly.
Ah, fair.
Wow, his Herbert bias has slipped through just now. So
I'm
shock.
sorry, Philly's just a better team.
Well, I
Like,
think they definitely get the win against the Raiders on 15 week in week 15.
yeah, they'll kill them.
Okay, do they so do we think that they split with Washington, the only
Hold on, but
other
I mean their last three is Washington,
Buffalo and
the
Washington?
Bills, and then Washington, which I think is
Shoot.
diabolical to have
Both
that
of those
as your
road
last three
games
games.
before ending at home as
Okay,
well.
hear me out. I think they get two losses there. I think they lose to the Commanders once, and they lose to the Bills.
So how many losses did we put them at? One, two, three,
Five, right?
That'd be
So they
four,
five.
lose to, we have them
at
losing to
least
the
five.
Bucks, the Commanders, the Bills, the Lions, and then there was one more team. Oh,
Broncos.
Denver.
Broncos. Yes, so that's five.
Here's the thing. I think the Eagles are gonna go 11-6 again this upcoming season.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like that, like 11 or 6, 12 and 5.
Yeah.
So what? So we had them improving by a game then.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
what we're going off. So let's say if if we were to say that they underperform, then let's say they lose to the Chargers, the Packers, and then that's probably it. I think those are the only two ones you could flip. Where
I think the floor to me is 10 wins. The high would be 13,
we're yeah, 13 or 14.
13, 14.
But everything has to go right. Now, also, there's just this weird thing with NFC teams. Every time they come off a Super Bowl, they just do like drastically worse, or they're
Uh-huh.
just like middle of the pack. They're not like
Uh-huh.
awful. So they're like, yeah, like with the Niners that first year against the Chiefs, they were
Don't get it.
terrible. Philly goes to the Super Bowl. Then the year Philly lost, they were terrible.
Yep.
Then the Niners win again, and then the Niners were terrible.
The Niners still
And
haven't
Philly
recovered.
was yeah,
The Niners
like
still hadn't even recovered from
but
that.
but but with the difference is the Niners literally have put all their eggs in this basket of these like older guys that you probably have maybe like 2 to 3 more years best with them. But with Philly, what's great is everyone is young besides their O-line, which is probably the oldest part of their team, but like everyone else is young. And if they can just still hit on these draft picks, which I think they have
Yeah.
these last couple years, I mean, the sky's the limit. And if they just improve and play as well as they've had these last couple seasons, I think it can be pretty consistent in how good they are. Like the only way they end up being worse is just injuries or
If they
Jalen
end up going
Hurts
the
just
Lions
forgets how to play
routes,
football.
if they end up going the Lions route, just being crushed into oblivion, that way they can't perform their fullest come playoff time. That'd be
Right.
the the downside of the return to form. But I will have to say my favorite tidbit I've done so far this offseason. Would anyone like to guess where the cheapest ticket is for this schedule for the Eagles?
I'm gonna say
The Giants.
no, that those are
Nope.
gonna be expensive. The
Actually,
Cheapest
divisional
Raiders?
game.
Giants tickets
Oh,
122
The
bucks.
Raiders. The Raiders. The Raiders.
Nope.
because is it in Vegas?
The Raiders one is actually
Then Philly.
that's a home game. That's Philly.
Okay.
That's still not the cheapest one.
Denver.
Nope. Not that one either. That one's actually kind of pricey if you ask me. It is
Where?
actually in Dallas. $84 is the cheapest ticket
In Dallas.
Come
Eagles
on,
in
are
Jerry.
coming
Dallas.
down. Jerry's not rolling out the red carpet. Come on, man.
Mm-mm,
Interesting.
apparently not.
Interesting. Well, any
I think it's funny that it's the divisional opponent too.
yeah, especially that game. Like those are two of the biggest rivals in football in the NFL.
Hmm.
Well, any final thoughts y'all have on the Philadelphia Eagles?
I think I think the Eagles. I mentioned this previously. The Eagles are a strong contender for a repeat Super Bowl performance, in my opinion. The roster's still
Um,
there. It's whether or not the talent or the other teams can actually improve much more than they did last year.
yeah. I mean, I was a big hater on Philly last year because they were winning all these close games that were just kind of BS to me. And I feel like it's just going to be the same outcome as last year, where they just like, s- you know,
Big
they just
time.
end up making that last
Oh,
final play
I
every
almost
time.
forgot. So important. Eagles fans, because I was talking to a few of y'all or some of my local friends or some Eagles fans. I had to talk about some crazy stuff. I still don't like Jalen Hurts. Great team. Don't like your quarterback. So that's
Amen
where
to
I leave
that.
it.
That could be
And
another
right,
conversation. Is Jalen Hurts the
yes,
truth?
sir,
Is he a Brock Purdy? No, he's
bro.
not.
Yes, he is a Brock Purdy. You know how I feel about it. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
we're not doing this.
Okay.
We're
Oh
not doing this.
no.
I
Jalen
love
Hurts
Brock
is
Purdy, but
We're gonna
I don't
table that
love
conversation
I
real
don't
Jalen
love
quick.
Hurts
Jalen
is
Hurts.
better than Brock Purdy. We're not doing this.
No, hot take, hot take. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I would say this. I think the Eagles could be either really good and like win 14, 13 games, or they can like win nine and just win that
Yeah.
division. Like I don't know. Or actually they could lose the division to the Commanders. So who knows? Who knows, man? I feel like a lot of
I
these
do.
teams are
Oh,
in that
we didn't
line
even
of
mention division standings with this.
ooh.
I like
First
you
and
just
second?
mentioned. I think it'll be first and second between the Commanders and the Eagles.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
I'm
won't
I'm
even
I'm
give
with
a
there with y'all.
solid position to either one of them. I think it'll be a split between the
Actually,
both,
Yeah.
I think
and
I'll
Cowboys third and Giants last.
I'll say Philly wins the division. I don't think there's gonna be competition.
I mean week
Assuming
13.
Daniels doesn't have a crazy sophomore slump, I think the Commanders will produce enough to at
That's the only
least
thing I'm worried about.
stay competitive.
But it's like
Because even Stroud's sophomore slump got them to the wild card in a home playoff game.
Yeah,
So how is the team around him? We'll get to that.
interesting. Well, appreciate y'all for listening. If you made it this far, let us know what you think about the Philadelphia Eagles and how you think they will do. I have been your host, Davion. That's been Matt. It's been Oronde, and it's been the post game. Peace.
Peace.